From the Clark Ford Studio in Oxford, Mississippi, MBW Digital proudly presents the Oxford Exxon Podcast.
I'd say thanks for tuning in, but why am I going to give you a round of applause for something you're supposed to do, to be frank?
And now, here are your hosts, Chase Parham.
That broadcast school has really paid off.
And Neal McCready.
I deserve to be on TV.
Welcome to this Monday edition of the Oxford Exxon Podcast. Chase Parham, Neal McCready, Clark Ford Studio this morning. 75% of the college football season out of the way and done now as Ole Miss falls to 5-4, losing 48-44 to South Carolina Saturday in Oxford. Now on the road for back-to-back games at A&M and Vanderbilt prior to the finale against Mississippi State back in Oxford on Thanksgiving night. We'll discuss some football today. We will look at lines for the week and whatever else comes to mind. Been a very active weekend on the rebelgrove.com message board, so we'll go there as well. So that and more coming up on the show, brought to you every single day by the Oxford Exxon, Highway 6 West in Oxford. Thanks to those who used them for your tailgate this weekend, those who participated in Free Gas Friday. We'll have plenty more of that coming up, as well as make sure you save money with them through the mobile rewards, through the Speed Pass Plus app. A lot of ways with Blue Sky and Craddock Oil and the Oxford Exxon to save money in Mississippi. The bottomless refill is 49 cents. You'll see ads about that at the basketball games coming up. The season opener is Saturday against Western Michigan, because you buy the cup and then 49 cents to refill it every time you pass a Blue Sky in Mississippi. And then also coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are. Clark Ford is in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900. 662-257-1900. Call the number. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what new Ford you are looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. We tell you this all the time. There was an example of it on Twitter, though, on Friday, so I'll use that. Someone on Twitter from Pontotoc purchased a vehicle from Clark Ford. He pointed out that the process took about 30 minutes. 30 minutes! 30 minutes. I've done car stuff where it took hours and days.
Yeah.
30 minutes. Tell him what you want. He's going to send you a quote. He's not trying to screw you. He's trying to be efficient. He gets straight to the bottom line so that he can get more deals done. That's the deal. Then what you get after you make your purchase is also what's really cool. You get great service, really personal service. Corey wants to be your car guy. He wants to be your truck guy. He'll prove it to you. So get in touch with Corey. Tell him what you're looking for. Get your quote. Go from there. 662-257-1900. Don't forget to tell him that you heard about Clark Ford on the podcast, any of our family of podcasts, and you'll save $500. 662-257-1900. After
what he did last year and kind of his overall demeanor, we're going to get to Ole Miss in a minute. I'm incredibly enjoying Tom Herman whining about unsportsmanlike conduct and officiating on Saturday. The Texas thing had fallen a little bit. We had kind of gotten past that, fully back now. I'm watching this unfold. West Virginia goes for two. Herman calls timeout, stops the first time they get it. They get it again, and as Will Greer is moving into the end zone, he high steps. And then ends up getting unsportsmanlike conduct after that because he taunts fans in the stands. However...
Yeah, threw the ball.
Right. However, Herman, very upset, gives a quote in the postgame about how it should have been a live ball foul. It should have brought the score back. The high stepping was against the rules and all this stuff. The same guy that openly mocked Drew Lock on the sideline last year, he had it coming, and I couldn't be happier right now. Also...
There aren't many programs I hate more than Texas.
Yeah.
And they were starting to lose some of my hate, and now I got it back. I'm glad. Thank you.
You lose the Nils pick over it yesterday, everything.
Their defense was so bad.
Well, okay, here's the thing, too. How does one fan base whine this much about not getting not the opponent getting penalized every time they do the stupid horns down sign? It was called on Saturday, and it can be called, but it doesn't have to be called. Why is it a penalty? If you've got a sign, it should be fine to mock it, in my opinion. You don't see the opposing Ole Miss teams, the defenses, get mocked for doing the land shark fin. What's the difference?
There is no difference.
But at Texas whines and gripes about it, and then they get penalties because of it.
Because if you're going to put up a shark thing every time you make a tackle, when the other team makes a tackle, they should have the right to put up a shark thing making fun of your shark thing.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree completely. And so if you're going to do hook 'em thing every time you do something like have a pulse, and the other team says, "Oh, you know what? I have a pulse too. I'm going to do it downward." Cool.
Texas media today losing their minds over.
Well, they're a
down.
bunch of homers. That's what happens. Get a bunch of people who are deep down wearing their burnt orange underwear to the football game. They're going to get emotional when their team loses. They thought Tom Herman was going to make them a national power again. For the record, there's only one national power. Let's stop at the rest of it.
They're better. They're better.
They're better.
That's what they are.
They're not as good as West Virginia.
Will Greer's really good.
Dana Holgerson's really good. He's weird as hell, and he probably would be a colossal disaster at the SEC level.
You have to worry about him every time your head hits the pillow, but
he's a hell of a coach.
Yeah.
Mike Leach is the same boat. Hell of a coach.
Well, Leach doesn't have some of Holgerson's past.
He doesn't.
But
just you never know when he's going to be loose cannon on you. But you know what? I'm going to say this. It's supposed to be fun. Holgerson's fun. His team's games are fun.
it's why people like college football. I mean, yeah, you've got your personal ties, but just in general, people that like the sport, it's not because it's always incredible play. It's because it's fun. It's a soap opera. It's interesting. It's cool.
Because if you want great play, you just watch the NFL.
I mean, it's any college thing. Well, college football beats everything else in college standpoint because it's just stupid.
Yes.
And that's good. Stupid's good. I like stupid.
So embrace stupid. Yeah. If you want great football, just get the Saints-Rams game, put it on a loop, and watch it over and over and over.
I mean, I give SB Nation credit over the weekend. They're going, just because Alabama's winning the title doesn't mean we can't enjoy stupid football. There's still 129 other teams. Let's enjoy it.
I'm with them. As long as we can stop discussing can anybody beat Alabama, because the answer is no.
Well, that wasn't their point. It was that every team has some goals, some expectations, some whatever their own personal deal is.
Missouri, Florida the other day.
So do they hit it? That's the question.
Missouri, Florida the other day. Big win for Missouri. Yeah. Big emotional win. What did it mean? Not much. Saved a job. Shut people up. They might get to go to Nashville instead of Shreveport. They're not winning a championship.
Well, that is a plus. Nashville and Shreveport's a tangible win.
But you understand my point.
Yeah. Just point being, it's a huge division. There's 130 teams. Who wins the whole thing is not the whole story.
Of course not. It's like in the NBA. We all know who's going to win. It still doesn't change the fact that some of the teams are really fun to watch.
Yeah, and that's only 30 where you have just one tier. You know what I mean? Like it's, I don't know. It was a fun weekend of football. Overall, it was one of the better weekends of football that we'll ever see. Jeffrey pointed that out on Friday. He had kind of made a list of every time slot having a really interesting game. And for the most part, it fulfilled that all the way through the NFL when you had, Ravens, Steelers at noon, then you had Saints, Rams at 3, and then you had Packers, Patriots last night. It kind of went all the way through.
I mean, I didn't win these games, but Iowa-Purdue was a good game.
It was a good game.
West Virginia, Texas was a good game. Northwestern, Notre Dame was a fun game.
I was hot on picks till late Saturday night. I won like the first 6, and then,
LSU, Alabama was not a good game. It was exactly the game that cynics like me said it would be. I've never been so disappointed to be right. I watched a quarter, and I was like, done.
The most interesting thing about Alabama right now is that Tua's hurt, and playing hurt, and Jalen's hurt.
Yeah.
And
Mississippi State has a better chance than LSU did. It's only because they're better on defense.
Well, and they have just he's better than Joe Burrow. Nick Fitzgerald is what he is, but he's better than Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
From a making play standpoint. Burrow beats himself less than Fitzgerald does, but Fitzgerald has the ability to make a couple more plays.
State might actually cover that line just because Alabama's got to start getting healthy.
But, I mean, had Tua gotten hurt, Mac Jones was going to play?
And they'd still win.
Well, I know, but that does change. I mean, that makes them beatable. Yes, come on. That makes them beatable.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean,
maybe. They're so good up front.
They are, but still, Mac Jones isn't winning a national title.
I don't know.
Because Tua puts them in another realm. He makes them one of those best all-time type teams. With anybody else at quarterback that's not that dynamic, they're just a really good football team.
I would say that they go from being the favorite or the lock to one of the favorites.
Right, yeah,
if Mac
absolutely.
Jones is
still making the playoffs, still getting in, but it's worth tuning in that night to see what happens.
They'd have a chance to lose to Clemson maybe if Mac Jones is the quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's more than fair.
If Tua is healthy, there is no game.
I just don't think so. I mean, I know
Tua is ready to be an NFL quarterback today.
Well, their defense is suddenly playing a little better, gotten a little more locked in, gotten a little more whatever.
That finally meant something. When you're up 35-0, 8 minutes into a game, and you're on defense, you're kind of like, eh. I mean, you can generate some bullshit pardon my language, intensity, but it's not real. When the coach yells at you, it scores 0-0. It's 0-0. No, actually, Coach, it's not.
It's 35-0.
It's 35-0, and Tua's over there drinking a milkshake.
He played the fourth quarter this week.
Yeah.
Hey.
I mean,
baby steps.
All due respect, Coach. The game's been over.
I don't know. A lot of content at rebelgrove.com. Neil had some thoughts. I had some thoughts. We had post-game stuff. Just kind of wrapping up Ole Miss and South Carolina. If you didn't listen to the instant analysis, it was a missed opportunity. Ole Miss had gotten a win in the NCAA process on Thursday. If you haven't listened to us with Ross B. Work on Friday, I recommend you doing that. All the places the podcast is located. Ole Miss got a good crowd. Got an assist from South Carolina. They brought a ton of people into Oxford over the weekend. One of the biggest visitor crowds, not named Alabama, that I can remember seeing in a long time, frankly. And it was kind of nice just from a spectating standpoint, covering the game, to have a home game in Oxford where the game was kind of in doubt at the end and it wasn't some collapse from either team. You know what I mean? I mean, I understand Ole Miss had a 10-point lead there at one point, but it was kind of just a standard competitive game, and frankly, there haven't been a whole lot of those in Ole Miss home games lately in the SEC, because you look at it, Ole Miss still hasn't beaten at home an SEC team not named Vanderbilt since that thrashing of Georgia with Chad Kelly in 2016. Last 3 SEC wins have all been on the road between Arkansas, Kentucky, and Mississippi State this year and then last year, and they had an opportunity. The game day script was a little bit improved on Saturday. There were fewer interruptions, I thought. I kind of pointed that out to Neil. And somebody verified for me that they had moved some of those stoppages to outside gameplay or in-game activity. The military appreciation thing helped as well. The band had one of its better days. It was just a little more rhythm in the stadium on Saturday. And then Ole Miss blows the 10-point fourth quarter lead. They have 18 total yards in the fourth quarter, and that has resulted in lots of offense versus defense talk. Ole Miss did have a terrible fourth quarter offensively. They had three punts and then a turnover on downs. They had 2 first downs in the quarter. They didn't score on some red zone possessions. They did have 5 touchdowns in the red zone. Those all coming courtesy of running the football, which something I kind of written about and really examined earlier in the week. So that was justified. That did come to fruition the way that I had written it. So you Rebel Grovers, you're probably smarter after reading that last week. But point being, this defense is what it is, and it takes a near perfect effort in league play to win games because the offense has to score so many points. And I relate it to when everybody used to blame Tony Romo for losing the shootouts in Dallas because he'd throw the 1 interception or whatever. It's very similar to when the Saints would go 7-9. Everybody go, well, if Brees hadn't done this or whatever. Well, they have the worst defense in NFL history on the other side. Phil Longo wasn't perfect, and frankly, the expectation from a lot of fans is that he has to be, because the defense is just going to give up a lot of yards and a lot of points in every SEC game, and that's the only way to win is to score 45 to 50 points in a game.
Yeah, I don't know what else I can say about it. The offense rolled up 615 or whatever yards of offense and scored 44 points. That should win a game.
Yeah.
Period. That should win a game.
Was game management poor in the fourth quarter? Yes.
It was.
Yes.
But, the quarterback was hurt.
Yeah.
And as I've said,
which is maybe more reason to run the ball, though. They still were throwing.
It might be, but you know what? Things work out. Breaks work out. Ole Miss is probably not in the same boat it's in right now today if they had played some teams that hadn't lost quarterbacks. So Ole Miss lost its quarterback late in the third quarter, and it threw things off and probably cost them the game in some ways. And so there's a little bit of that's just the way the breaks fall. Those breaks even out.
Yeah, the last three Power 5 wins for Ole Miss have been against backup quarterbacks.
So, Ole Miss had to play Matt Corral in the fourth quarter.
5 plays total.
But a key series.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
A very key series.
He was very hyped up. He was throwing it everywhere.
Yeah. Matt Corral had to play a very key series in the fourth quarter of an SEC game that was Ole Miss led by 3 points at the time. That's significant. That was not the plan.
We'll find out more about Tamu today. He was getting an X-ray following the game on Saturday. He wasn't available to the media. We'll see. I don't know.
So let's get right to this because I'm ready to get to it.
Okay.
We're not reporting Wesley McGriff is coming back as the defensive
coordinator.
Start
from the beginning. A lot of people don't read the site.
Yeah. Bite tongue. We heard starting on Friday night, Saturday morning, there's been an assumption.
Very heavy assumption.
A very heavy assumption that the decision regarding Wesley McGriff has been made.
It was a mere formality.
We asked Ross Bjork a question on Friday morning about money, basically
related to buyouts is what we were talking about.
And we were told that money would not be an option, that they had $30 million, whatever. I don't want to put words in Ross's mouth. I don't even want to get it out of the wrong context, but roughly that they had the money to do what they needed to do.
He called it a rainy day fund.
They had the money to do what they needed to do for the football program. I started talking to people late last week about, hey, what's going to happen? And people told me, hey, don't make hypotheticals. No decisions have been made. We got 4 games left. What if we win those 4 games? What if we look really good? There's an interest in continuity. This is not an experienced head coach here. Here's the truth about head coaches. One of the reasons they hate to fire coordinators. Are you listening?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
They hate to fire coaches, head coach, coordinators, because after you fire coordinators, you're next. You're on the clock next. So that
most coaching tenures get one shot at the reset.
You get one reset button. And so if you hit it this November, well, you're on the clock. So what we started hearing, what I heard very specifically was, look, there's a better chance Longo is gone than McGriff. There's a better chance McGriff is still here. Heard a little bit about how, it's really not McGriff's fault. I heard a lot of sort of justification for keeping Wesley McGriff. And I point blank asked, is that decision made? And the answer was absolutely not.
And this came from a lot of different angles.
Multiple
this was
people,
not
all
one.
over the
This was
place.
not one subsect of anything.
No. Multiple people. No, that decision has not been made. And so I posted, what if I told you that he stays? The assumption that he's leaving. And what I've learned is that you can't do anything, you can't report anything, you cannot assume that if you hand people 3 letters, they can spell the word. And I know I'm being a jerk right now, but it's truly the truth. People he says, it's been said that I reported that Wesley McGriff is staying. It's not what I reported. I've said that option remains on the table.
They got really confused by this sentence, what if I told you he's staying?
And the question was, what if I told you he's staying?
But they took that as he is staying,
yeah.
I guess.
But then I came in behind that and explained what I said. So it's not my fault that you don't read the second paragraph.
It was another post, but yes.
Yeah, but it's not my fault you don't read the second paragraph. So that's where I'm coming from. I'm not reporting that he's staying. I'm reporting that decision's not been made. Because when you're a head coach, you have to think really hard when you make these decisions. And if we're being honest about Wesley McGriff, has he done a great job? No, of course not. Does he have tools to work with? Is it a completely fair assessment? And this is this isn't me talking. This is people around the program talking. Is it a completely fair assessment to blame this on Wesley McGriff? This is a league full of NFL players. That is not a defense full of NFL players.
Something else I mentioned on Sunday is that everybody always talks about coordinators and job changes in a very binary fashion. That's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of different things that could happen. I mean, just hypothetically here. You could remove a coordinator. You could keep a coordinator. You could extend a coordinator. You could not extend a coordinator. You could move a coordinator potentially to a non-coordinator role and have them recruit and coach a position and then hire somebody to actually coordinate the defense. So that's the thing, too, is, I mean, I think that everybody has fallen victim to this. Well, this is the one decision going to be made, and then looking at it in a very binary fashion, and that's just not the case. So that's where we are. I don't know. A lot of that at rebelgrove.com.
Yeah, and there's a lot of shoot the messenger stuff. I'm not the reason your program's where it is. Hugh Freeze is the reason your program's where it is. The product on that field on defense is Hugh Freeze's. He didn't recruit anybody on defense. Let it go. Got his ass beat in recruiting the last 3 years. Just got destroyed in recruiting the last 3 years. And that's his product on the field. In an ideal, this is the problem, and this is not about Matt Luke. It's not I think Matt's done a pretty decent job. In an ideal world, Hugh Freeze would have coached last season. People would have seen it for what it was. He may have even coached this season, and you'd be ready to hit the reset button. In another ideal world, you would have hit the reset button last year. There's a lot of animosity and anger that is directed. It's not fair to direct it at Matt Luke. It's directed at Matt Luke in many ways because he's the face down there. That's why everybody makes fun of wardrobe and stuff. They're angry because, frankly, it made sense for the program to hit the reset button. And instead of hitting the reset button, the program hired.
There's a section that just sees him a continuation of the old staff.
Which is fair, because it is the old staff. It's literally Jack Bicknell replaced Hugh Freeze. They reshuffled the deck, and they added Jason Jones. No,
it's Clark, Sumrall, Bicknell.
Yeah.
But
it's essentially the same coordinators. It's the same thing.
Taylor, yeah.
You know, and I think there's a feeling out there that this is a continuation of what Hugh Freeze did without Hugh Freeze, and I think that's in some ways that's not fair, and in some ways that is fair. But that's the frustration. Arkansas, for example, is god awful. I mean, they're going 2-10, 0-8, and yet there's some optimism because it's a new staff. They can blame the old guy. I mean, what's the next? If the next president, let's say the next president beats Trump in 2020, whoever he or she is, in January of 21, is going to spend the first year blaming every single thing on Trump, in the same way that Obama blamed Bush, in the same way that Bush blamed Clinton, in the same way that Clinton blamed Bush, and on and on and on and on we go. That's politics. In this case, the new staff Matt Luke can't blame Hugh Freeze. He was there. Every single day he was there. He can't do it. And so there's nothing to deflect.
Yeah. Finish that in 1 second. If we do that, I will tell you that with Thanksgiving up next soon, it will be Christmas, and it's time to let Master Cuts may keep your home looking up to par through this holiday season. They offer a variety of outdoor Christmas decorations that will transform your house into a festive staple of the neighborhood. Everything from lighting and garland to inflatable characters. Whatever your vision may be, they'll make a custom display unique to your home. The best part, all the decorations you pay for, you'll own them. Master Cuts will keep and store your decorations until they're ready to go up the next year, or you can store them yourself. That option is yours. So start a tradition with your family today and get a free quote with Master Cuts, 662-607-7773.
My 10 Weekend Thoughts are up on rebelgrove.com. Those thoughts are sponsored by Harry Alexander. Harry is an Oxford-based RE/MAX Legacy Realty agent. Been in Oxford more than 4 decades. No one knows the residential and condo market in Oxford better than Harry. Go to his site. He'll prove it to you, harryalexander.com. Click on the Properties and Neighborhoods tab. Filter through by what you're looking for. Send him an email. It's ha@harryalexander.com. Podcast also brought to you by Grenada Nissan. If you're in the market for a Nissan vehicle, look no further than Grenada Nissan. They have a complete selection of new and previously owned Nissan vehicles. Great lease deals. I've been doing business with Gene and Sandy for more than 10 years. They're fantastic. They're practically members of the family. We care that much about them. They're great. They'll take great care of you. The service is fantastic. It's Grenada Nissan USA.com. Podcast also sponsored by Pinnacle Trust. Pinnacle Trust, based in Madison, Mississippi, represents clients in 24 states, has advisors in 3 states. Founded in 1997, Pinnacle Trust provides detailed, specialized investment management, financial planning, retirement planning for individuals and businesses, and much more. At Pinnacle Trust, investing is treated like a commodity and decisions are made using objective information and research, not emotions. Regardless of your level of wealth, Pinnacle Trust will sit down with you, listen to your goals, study your expenses, and put forth a comprehensive, detailed financial and retirement plan. It's not what cookie-cutter financial planners do. You go to some of those places and they ask you some questions. How aggressive do you want to be? How willing to take risk are you on a scale of 1 to 10? And you throw some numbers at you, they throw it in their algorithm, and they stick you in a box. Pinnacle Trust sits down with you, finds out what it is you want to do. How do you spend? How do you see yourself spending? When do you want to retire? What do you want to do after you retire? And then they build a box just for you, down to the penny. It's amazing. To learn more about them, go to pintrust.com, PINN trust.com. Mention you heard about Pinnacle Trust on the podcast. You'll get 10% off your first year's fee. Also, my mailbag. I'll be asking for questions here in a little bit. The mailbag is brought to you by the Westin Jackson. Join the Westin Jackson for their inaugural event, the Festival of Trees. It's a community-wide event. The Westin Jackson is partnered with Eventful, Visit Jackson, Friends of Children's Hospital, and many others to create a one-of-a-kind, all-month-long holiday event comprised of elaborately decorated Christmas trees lining the Westin Jackson halls, a holiday charity gala, sugar plum fairy teas, and brunch with Santa. This annual event is sure to delight kids of all ages and warm the Christmas spirit in all who attend. So purchase your tickets today at jacksonfestivaloftrees.com.
Also, something that got stumbled on that I was not 100% aware of, but Davis Potter, when he was with the Oxford Eagle, had reported in early 2017 that unlike head coaches who have mostly been owed the remainder of their salary at Ole Miss over the years, McGriff's buyout language in that initial contract, or in that contract, was $250,000 or 1/4 of remaining salary, whichever one is more. So if McGriff were let go at the end of the season, he would be owed somewhere just slightly north of $500,000 per that agreement. I am checking today to see if that language has been updated or to see if it still remains that way. But it would not be a complete $2.2 million buyout like a lot of head coaches. It would be somewhere, per that language, somewhere around $500,000. So just pointing that out a little bit as we move forward. Do you have one more thing you said?
No, I just think, it's the part of it that you have to look at from a coaching standpoint. When you make that change, I say this all the time. You've heard me say this. The moment that you fire a coach, it's not his problem anymore. Somebody else's problem. And there's this perception, and I've had it. Frankly, it's something I have believed all year. I have believed they would get rid of – I'm about to give you a compliment. I thought they'll have to get rid of coaches. They'll get rid of 6 or more. I thought it would be wholesale change, and you have said all along, I don't think so. I'm letting people in on some private conversations. You said, I just don't believe it. I think 2, 3, maybe 4, but probably 2 or 3. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what you thought. And from listening to people, I think that's where it's headed.
Yeah, I think when we always talk about things in season, when things are a little more emotional for a lot of people, I think a lot of things become hyperbolic. A lot of people think, there's a sweeping thing, and very rarely does that usually be the case. It's usually something a lot more tame than that. So, yeah, I think if there's just some drastic change, I'll be shocked. I'll be honest. I mean, do I think the entire staff is back next year? Well, no. I mean, that's not feasible of any staff with what's going on. But, no, I'm not of the opinion that more than half the staff is being turned over and changed prior to next season. I'm not. So, we'll see.
The problem when you do that is you put yourself on the clock. And so your agents, the people that represent you, the people that advise you say, hey, babe, be careful.
It's what we've been talking about this whole time, because, look, this isn't about – this would happen in any school. This isn't anything to do with Matt personally or anything.
No.
It's that when you have a coach come in that was tied to that previous staff, or no, forget it, just a new coach in general, but he retains previous staff members. That's more the point here.
Right.
When he retains previous staff members, you have a 1-year possibility of removing those guys and going, hey, that's that guy's dudes. When you don't do it past that point, suddenly they're your dudes. It is a public change right there after 1 year where now all of a sudden they're your guys. They're not his guys. They're your guys. And that's not a criticism. That's Matt making a decision, but that is the decision he has to make at the end of November.
But in the eyes of the fans, it's a decision he already made. This is where you get into the interim/not interim thing. And you and I are on the same boat here.
Is it year 2? What year is it?
You and I both view this as year 1.
I do, yeah.
Fans do not. They view this as year 2. And so in their eyes, he had year 1 with that staff. It didn't work out, and he should have made changes then. By keeping them, he endorsed them. When in reality is, I think he made promises inside that building. And then I will say what I've said all along. Matt Luke found out he was Ole Miss's next coach when Matt Luke found out he was Ole Miss's next coach. He didn't. I don't believe Matt Luke. He'll never admit this, and I don't blame him. But I don't believe he walked off that field in Starkville last Thanksgiving night thinking he was getting the job. I don't.
Yeah, I think there was a possibility that when he walked off and went, hey, I had a hell of a moment.
Yeah.
We had a hell of a night.
I absolutely.
And can parlay this into something.
Yeah, he was going to get the South Alabama job.
Right.
I have absolutely no doubt that he walked off the field after losing to Texas A&M 54 weeks ago, believing that he was not going to be the head coach at Ole Miss. And so there was not a lot of time to think about, okay, what is it that I want to do? I think he found out on Saturday/Sunday after the Egg Bowl that he was getting the job, and they had to move quickly.
Yeah, in a year where at the time you're expecting a bowl ban the following year, a year that from that standpoint has far less meaning than most normal seasons. You got recruiting going on with early signing period all of a sudden where everybody just still adjusting to that in a few days. I mean,
and you're recruiting your own players.
Yeah, in hindsight, I understand it, but going back to that day, I get not doing whole. I mean, number one, you don't have a lot of capital. Number two,
you got to recruit your own players.
I mean, it wasn't it was not a mandate when he was hired. So
no,
that would have been, if you take everybody back to that situation, that would have been a very difficult thing to go, hey, you got to keep the whole roster together that you can keep right now, and that's with a former, or I guess current player, former player's parent recruiting those guys against you right now, by the way, the ones that are good. You've got to recruit this signing class, which is pretty pivotal because you don't have defensive players. You got to find some answers right now. And then, hey, while you're doing that, why don't you fire some assistants and go hire some new ones too and get them in prior to the early signing period day? Cool?
Yeah, come on.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Oh, and by the way, you've had no time to prepare for this.
Yeah. There's probably not a notebook in your drawer with names on it.
Or if there was a notebook in his drawer with names on it, it was a notebook for the South Alabama type job.
Which is a whole different deal. Yeah. You need 2 notebooks.
Yeah. And he had no real reason to think, I'm going to have to get this notebook together. And so they kept that staff. And now they're to this place, and there's this expectation of wholesale change. And let's face it, he's had a year to think about it. And so the decisions that he makes or doesn't make, this is why I've said all along this offseason is going to be the most critical for him. Because the decisions that he makes or doesn't make are going to be his judge and jury going forward.
Yeah.
And this is a tough gig. And this is my thing. He can't criticize the previous staff, even subtly.
Yeah, just PR 101 that everybody gets to do. There's 2 things. He can't criticize the former staff, and he can't, when he gets asked questions about all the crap, go, I don't know, I wasn't here. Beats me. I don't have time to figure it out.
You and I have talked about this. If it was a new coach, give me a name. We'll go with the guy that we're going to hire.
Mike Shula.
Mike Shula. We're going to hire Mike Shula.
Yeah.
Mike Shula would be able to say, I wasn't here. I just don't know. And here's the truth. I've got so much stuff to do.
I don't have time to figure it out.
That I don't have time to figure it out. Maybe in a few years, I'll sit down with you guys over a beer or a cup of coffee or whatever, and y'all can tell me all about it. But right now, I don't have time to breathe. I sure don't have time for a history lesson. I got to go recruit. I got to rebuild this program. I'm a new face. None of my
coaches. Got to talk to some juniors about the decision they've got to make as far as the NFL or staying.
Yeah, none of my coaches were here. We just don't know. And I've told them, eyes forward. Now, is that full of cliche? Of course. Does the coach deep down want to know what the hell happened and hear about it? Of course. But it gives him a PR thing to stand by. And what you said about a mandate is true. I'm a history buff. You are too. When John F. Kennedy was killed, Lyndon Johnson didn't walk into the cabinet and go, hey, all you sons of bitches are fired. Now, did he like those guys? No, he hated them. He hated most of them. What did he say to them? I need you. I need you. Now, did he make changes after he got reelected in 64? Yeah, he made changes.
Yeah.
But when you walk in with no mandate, you can't walk in going, I got the biggest trunk of all the elephants. Here we go, boys and girls. Get out. That don't work like that. Did you like that analogy? I made it PG.
You did.
Hell, I made it G. That's G-rated. He didn't have that mandate. He's got it now. Got to do something with it, or else. I mean, I think he gets. It's why. It's why this. I always said this. I wrote it many times when other people were writing about what a fantastic hire it was. I said it's great for Matt, but he's got a really difficult job because he doesn't get a traditional ignition button. Where you drive off the lot with a brand new car. You drive off of Clark Ford or Grenada Nissan with a brand new shiny car. Nope. You're driving off the lot in not a jalopy, but it's a car that's got some issues.
And it's competing against the Mercedes and the BMWs of the world.
Yeah, it's competing against a handful of really nice cars.
Yeah.
Loaded.
Yeah.
Really.
They have the technology package.
Yeah. Yeah, they got. You want the platinum? What you got above platinum?
Yeah.
We'll take that.
Yeah.
Can you add some stuff to the platinum package just for the sheer hell of it?
Yeah.
You can? Cool. Put the all. Yep.
Every bell, every whistle.
Yeah. And then when you get through adding those bells and whistles, call and make sure there are no more bells and whistles on the way. And I want the upgrade package that every time there's an upgrade, I just bring this thing over here and you upgrade it. He didn't get that vehicle. And he's asked to run the race with those vehicles. That's a tough call.
Yeah. We'll continue in that stream of consciousness probably in a second. We'll get into lines from the week as well before we go into our next break. I made a point to Neal a minute ago. You always got the guy the games coming up every week where it's the coma games. The guy wakes up from the coma after a couple of years and goes, "Whoa, what the heck happened?"
Yeah,
you got one of those here. Syracuse favored by 22.5 against Louisville this weekend. Bobby Petrino's out. I don't care what it costs to fire him. You got to fire him.
Got to fire him. No, the guy who's been asleep for 5 years, who was a football fan.
Yeah.
He wakes up and goes, "Whoa, wait a minute, hold on," because his first reaction is free money. And then you go, no, hey.
Whoa, back up.
Hey, Jim, let me fill you in on a couple of things before
Let's go get a cup of coffee.
Jim, let's go talk before you go to Vegas.
Yeah. Alabama, yeah, still good. Go ahead.
Lay that. You're good. Yeah, because he goes, well, Alabama's still number one.
Yeah.
Yeah. But some other stuff has changed. Clemson's still really good.
Yeah.
Some other stuff. Jim, slow down.
Florida State, they suck.
Yeah. So wait a minute. Florida State's a what?
Yeah. Yeah, because he fell into his coma pretty much the night they won the national title.
Yeah.
And then.
Yeah. I mean, there are a few things that have stayed the same, and then a few things that upset the apple cart.
Ed Orgeron's coaching LSU? Yes.
Whoa, what?
Yeah. And doing a decent job of it, frankly. It's doing all right.
He didn't have the best post-game press conference in the world.
You know,
it's a complicated deal. We can get to it in a minute because it's interesting.
We'll go there real quick because it kind of works out better.
Okay.
Jeffrey brought this up, and Jeffrey was ready to get on Ed, and I get it. Plenty of reason to get on Ed. Never a big fan of going that hard on your players.
Right.
He told the truth.
Well, he absolutely told the truth.
He told the truth. He was speaking to recruits.
He was.
It wasn't 100% good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that, but he told the truth, and he was talking to recruits. And maybe he had some defensive lineman or whomever that he goes, "Hey, I'm trying to motivate you for a couple weeks here."
Well, let's be fair.
Yeah.
From a consistency standpoint, I don't think anyone has ever described Ed Orgeron as subtle.
No. Nuance, not his thing.
Not his thing. He is a bull in a china shop.
Yeah.
And so if you're the one setting up a lot of fine china in that shop,
yeah,
when you let him in, you can't be shocked that he breaks stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And some kids got their feelings hurt. And there's no doubt in my mind that some assistant coaches there have their work cut out for them this week. I don't know who LSU's got this week or doesn't have. I think they go to Arkansas.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So that's a free spot. But they've got some work to do. But he told the truth.
He told the truth.
He told the truth. In many ways, it's the antithesis of what Matt has said all year. I asked Wesley McGriff several times, do you have the players? He always blames himself. Is that true? No, of course not. If you gave Wesley McGriff LSU's defense, would he be a better defensive coordinator?
Most likely, yes.
If you gave Wesley McGriff Alabama's defensive players, would he be a better defensive coordinator? Now, is that enough to justify keeping him? I have no idea. It's not my call. Can you get those players? I don't know. McGriff's calling card is being being a recruiter. And right now he's focused on coordinating, and they're not doing as much recruiting, and you got to go recruit players. But Ed Orgeron told the truth. If LSU's going to catch Alabama, they're going to have to recruit a different kind of player.
Need better Jimmys and Joes.
Because they got their butt kicked on the offensive and defensive line Saturday night.
Everywhere, really.
Yeah, but what I did was I sat out there and I watched it. I watched I watched a quarter. But I watched 2 series and watched nothing but the line. Just what I could see on television, and it was a beatdown. And I said, this game's over.
Yeah,
so
I watched
no
3
chance.
quarters. I didn't finish it, but I watched 3.
Yeah, no chance.
Again, Tua did play in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that was Tua limping around because he went down at one point in the first quarter, and I thought, ooh.
Yeah. Podcast brought to you in part by VisitOxfordMS.com. Visit OxfordMS.com/events to see the full calendar of what's going on. The Big Bad Art Show started November 2nd, runs to December 3rd at the Powerhouse. The Scrambled Art Bowl starts today, actually, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Runs to the 26th at Uptown Coffee. And you got Milkshake Mashup for grades 6 through 12 at the University Museum today. That's 4:30 to 5:30. Take advantage of that. The community market is tomorrow. And much, much more. You know, they do the Thacker Mountain Show in front of All Square Books every Thursday at 6 o'clock. And Jersey Boys come into the Ford Center November 9th at 7:30. So that's just a few of the things that you should go check out. See the full calendar of events again at visitoxfordms.com/events.
Podcast also brought to you by Dead Soxy. Dead Soxy, the product is just fantastic. It's made from bamboo, premium socks that stay up. They're not trying to reinvent the wheel here. What they're doing is creating a much better mousetrap. If you've ever had those socks that you pull on and they start to tear, you can hear the fabric tearing. You have to be very careful putting them on. They don't stay up. You spend your day bending over and pulling your socks back up. Your socks start bunching up down by your feet. They don't stay soft. They get thin. They tear. That's not Dead Soxy. Not at all. Their product is just fantastic. They stay soft. They stay on. They stay up. It's the best dress sock you'll ever wear. If you don't believe me, try it. Go to deadsoxy.com, DEADSOXY.com. Enter promo code Rebel Grove at checkout. They have a wide selection of socks, including the no-show socks. and it's a free money-back guarantee. If you don't think it's the best sock you've ever worn, you don't love it, just get back in touch with Dead Soxy. Tell them they'll refund your money, and you'll keep the socks. DeadSoxy.com, promo code Rebel Grove for 25% off at checkout. Podcast also brought to you in part by John Edwards of Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. If you've been thinking about that golf trip with the guys or an anniversary trip, you're starting to think about a cruise or a resort in Florida, the Caribbean, next spring break, or you're starting to think about that summer golf trip that you and some of the guys have been thinking about in Scotland or Ireland for next summer, those spots are getting more scarce. You need to get on that now, get some ideas, and to do that, call John. He's part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows John to supply his clients with added values and unique benefits that are simply not available to other travelers. He traveled the globe for 37 years before he got into the travel business, so he knows the extra attention that's needed to make a special trip one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. Here's what you do. You call him and you say, here's what our budget is. Here's kind of what we're looking at, parameters, where we're looking to go, roughly. We're willing to spend X, willing to be gone a certain number of days. And then you stop. You chill. You go back to doing what you were doing. He'll go to work. He'll find you some options, and you can choose. You're not obligated until you book your trip. And you don't have to live in or near Memphis to take advantage of his services. So call him at 901-494-3387 or send him an email at jedwards@regencytravel.net. First-time clients save $50 off their first booked trip just by telling John you heard about Regency Travel on the podcast.
Also, G&M Pharmacy on South Lamar. Time to get that flu shot, so take advantage of their walk-in policy. Go in, get the flu shot. If you got a major medical insurance provider, it is free, if not $25. If you choose to use them for all your pharmaceutical needs, they deliver local in the Oxford area and give you great hometown service. It's G&M Pharmacy on South Lamar. Happy 11th birthday to Emmy Craddock today. Saw this morning she's turning 11, so happy birthday to her as we jump into lines.
Happy birthday, Emmy.
Yes. Okay, we'll start it off here. SEC games, several of them at 11 a.m. this week. Should find out, by the way, the Vanderbilt time today. I don't think they'll go into a 6-day window for that hodgepodge of SEC games next week that is available. It's not good. So, State Arkansas is probably your 2:30, unless they just don't do a 2:30. I don't know.
No, I think they are going to do a 2:30. I think it is going to be.
It's got to be State Arkansas.
I think so.
Coming off Alabama loss,
and Arkansas coming off an LSU
but it's that
loss.
Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. Tennessee, Kentucky, maybe.
I'm looking.
There's 3 SEC games that week. November 17th.
Mississippi State and Arkansas, Vanderbilt and Ole Miss, Tennessee, Missouri, in Knoxville. That's got a chance to be the 2:30. But they've done Tennessee a couple of times already.
Done Tennessee a lot. Tennessee's already had at least 3 CBS games.
And they've got a Missouri game coming up because they do Missouri the day after Thanksgiving when they play Arkansas.
Yeah. It feels Arkansas State.
It might be their opportunity just to throw a Vanderbilt game at 2:30.
Ole Miss Vandy, 2:30.
But they're doing Ole Miss this week on CBS.
But it's at 11.
Yeah, but it's CBS.
Oh, I know.
I don't know. It's a tough call.
That's one thing. Let me reiterate this real quick. I mean, again, I understand the frustration. I'm not telling you to minimize your feelings. Ole Miss is not being punished, though, by getting the national big-time network games at 11. The 11 o'clock no longer has the connotation with the TV people of being the also-ran game like with Jefferson Pilot. If you're on the CBS, the SEC Network 11, yes, you've got the worst game of the week, no doubt.
Yeah.
But when you're ESPN at 11 coming out of College Game Day, or you're part of the CBS 11 o'clock doubleheader, that's a different animal to the TV people. They're not picking on anybody there. They're actually trying to get eyeballs into a pretty important national time slot. So,
and I'm going to address another conspiracy theory that's out there, that LSU is lobbying their way out of 11 a.m. games. The ESPN loves LSU at night because ESPN gets great numbers on LSU night games.
They do.
That's why. My source on this is TV people. TV people, not SEC people, not school people. It's TV people. LSU at night gives ESPN big numbers.
What they should do a little bit, because the numbers are so slanted, is they should give them more road 11 a.m.s to make it even look like you're playing some 11s,
Right.
because it ends up being, I think they've had 3 in the last 8 years.
Their deal is they're such a TV draw.
Yeah.
And
Bama
so-
plays a lot more 11s than LSU does.
So look at their road games when they play them. They play Alabama on the road. That's never going to be at 11 a.m. They play Auburn on the road. That's very rarely going to be an 11 a.m. game. They play Florida on the road every other year. That's never going to be an 11 a.m. game.
They've had some Thanksgiving with Texas A&M before.
Right. And now when they play Texas A&M going forward, that's probably going to be a nationally ranked game. And so their opportunities to play on the road are Ole Miss and Mississippi State every other year when those games get at Arkansas. And their game against Arkansas is this week is the 6:30 SEC Network game.
Yeah, which
is a lower choice.
Yeah, it is. That's what's funny about it. That's an also-ran game, time-wise.
What this shows you is CBS could have taken that game and put Arkansas at 11 a.m. They said, no, we'd rather have Ole Miss and A&M because there's a better chance it's a competitive game.
Yeah, we get a competitive game. We'll talk Jimbo a little bit. Ole Miss, has a winning record to the general public, 5-4. Okay,
yeah.
Move on.
So LSU Arkansas was maybe the last choice. It was the last game.
Yeah.
But fans, and I get it completely.
Yeah.
I understand it.
No.
But it's not the Dave show like it used to be, where it was the 11:21. Hey, welcome to JP. Here we go. No, it's not that anymore.
Exciting Nashville as Kentucky is in town for the Commodore. Yeah.
You are looking live, Middle Tennessee, and no, it doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah. South Carolina at Florida this weekend. The Gators licking their wounds from the Missouri blowout last weekend. South Carolina escaping Oxford. What do you think, Mr. McCready?
Ooh. I will guess that Florida is like a 3-point favorite.
Let's double that up and put some juice on it. Florida's a 7-point favorite over the South Carolina Gamecocks in Gainesville this weekend.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that game with a 10-foot pole. South Carolina is the single most average team I have ever seen.
Everything they do, except when Deebo Samuel touches the ball, they are very average.
Yeah, they're just a vanilla milkshake. A solid vanilla milkshake. No toppings, no swirl, no nothing.
By the way, I'm sure there were reasons. Ole Miss would have been much better off to just kick the dang thing as deep as possible all day Saturday, because what they did multiple times is kicked it shorter, but Samuel's still getting the ball on a head start with more field already behind him. Just kick it as far as you can and play it.
But on the opening kickoff, the ball wasn't kicked to him.
It was fumbled, and then he picked it up.
He picked it up, and one of the Ole Miss players, I hate calling players out,
missed his lane.
Got out of his lane.
Yeah.
Badly.
Poor gap assignment.
Very poor.
Yeah.
I dare say his eyes were in the wrong place.
And on another one later, he fell down, and it went through the same gap.
And that ball was – this is as close as Matt has come to saying players didn't execute.
Yeah.
He said – we'd have to go back and look at it, but we skied it, and basically I don't know why we weren't there.
Yeah. It should have been handled, is what he was saying.
There's a talent gap.
Well, in a kids who should be redshirted.
Kids who should be redshirted.
For him, it's as much as that as anything. It's just they're kids in roles that they are not experienced for right now.
Yeah.
So, see, it's an or. It's an and.
It's an and. It's not an or.
Yeah.
As much as people want it to be an or, it's an and.
Ole Miss at Texas A&M. This line's been on the board, so we're not guessing it. But I will tell you, it was a little bigger than I expected. I had guessed 8 with somebody earlier in the day yesterday.
No, I thought it would be higher.
Even higher than this?
No, I thought it would be about 11.
13 is the opening number in Vegas. 12.5 online, 13 in Vegas, and it's sitting 12.5 right now.
They run the ball well. And Ole Miss is abysmal against the run. And then the other part is the Tamu thing.
They've looked like a first-year coach program. They blew the game at Auburn, absolutely. Just blew it.
Oh.
They were awful.
Oh.
And, look, he might look like a Heisman contender this week. Kellen Mond is atrocious at times.
Yes.
He's a terrible quarterback at times.
He has some moments.
But, woo.
But, boy, he has some moments.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You don't know. He could throw it to anybody.
Yeah.
Or nobody.
Yeah.
More likely.
Yeah. Remember Nuke LaLoosh early in his minor league career when he came back and he goes, "Hey, I wouldn't dig in. I don't know where it's going."
Jimbo handles his composure as it pertains to Mond pretty well because at times he's thinking, "What in the hell?" Like,
oh yeah,
I need a quarterback.
I guarantee you there have been meetings where he has looked at people and said, "We must land quarterbacks."
Yeah, I need one right now.
Yeah, I need one who can come in and play.
Oh, I'd be hollering at Kelly Bryant, going, "Can you come run this ship for a year?"
That ship's done.
Arkansas.
I think he's going to Arkansas,
not Missouri.
I think it's Arkansas.
Okay. Speaking of Missouri, Vanderbilt at Missouri this weekend. The Doors
actually is
and
not
the Tigers.
going to be a terrible game. Shoot me, but I'm telling you, it's not.
All right, what do you think? Line.
I'm going to say Missouri is like a 4-point favorite. Not much. Vanderbilt's not terrible.
You're going to be shocked by this.
Okay.
Line. What direction do you think you're shocked in?
I think you're going to tell me that Vanderbilt's favored.
I'm going to tell you Missouri is favored by 15.5.
Oh, God, give me the points. I get Vandy in 15.5?
15.5.
Oh, give them to me.
It opened at 15.5, and we're sitting at 14.5 right now.
Yeah, I want the points.
You want to lock now?
Yeah.
In case that thing gets below 2 touchdowns?
Yeah, give me 14.5 points.
Okay. Yeah. 15.5 was the opening number here.
Vanderbilt's better than people give them credit for.
They're very sound fundamentally. So if you don't just overwhelm them with athletes, they're pretty competent.
Right. And they're fairly balanced on offense. I mean, they're not good.
The OddsShark analytics predicts a 34-27 Missouri win.
Yeah, see, I get that.
A 7-point Tiger win.
But a 17-point win, man, I don't see it. Because Missouri's weird.
Maybe sneaky the worst game of the season for a conference matchup between two teams, and this is not including Rutgers. Kansas at Kansas State this weekend. Kansas has fired David Beatty.
Yeah.
Jeff Long got his work cut out for him in that coaching surge.
You know the name that first came up among people?
Well, a lot of Les Miles.
A lot of Les Miles.
Yeah. He followed Houston Nutt on Twitter.
Oh, please. Dear, sweet baby Jesus. Please, 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 please give Houston Nutt the Kansas job.
He tried to get. He used it for a bargaining chip one time back in the day with Sexton.
I promise to be a good boy. Please. Amen.
Kansas State this weekend. Bill Snyder calling out a player on Saturday. Did you see it?
Yeah, getting old.
Yeah, it didn't go over well.
No.
People not happy about that in Manhattan.
It's over.
Yeah, he was asked about special teams woes, and he goes, "It really wasn't special teams. It was one individual."
It's not good.
And then went through the litany of issues with that one individual's play.
Doesn't work.
Woo. That's worse than Ed.
Yeah, Ed told the truth.
You kind of lose your Grandpa Bill moniker when you start going at all the players over and over.
Because Grandpa usually pretty forgiving.
He was pissed.
Yeah.
TCU, West Virginia by 14 in Vegas this weekend. TCU's had a weird year.
Yeah.
Nebraska, 19-point favorite over the Illini this weekend in Lincoln Memorial Stadium.
Boy, it tells you something about Illinois, doesn't it?
Got Ohio State, Michigan State this weekend.
Be a good game. Where's that game?
It's in East Lansing, Michigan.
Ooh, that's borderline a pick'em.
It's come down, I'll tell you that. It was a number, and it is dropped.
All right, I will guess Ohio State's a 2.5-point favorite.
It opened at 5.5. It's down to 3.
Okay.
It is tumbled since that. Wisconsin's a 9-point underdog in Happy Valley this weekend, if you're curious.
I tell you what, Penn State played decent the other day, and Michigan just kicked their tail.
Yeah, I know.
Michigan's really good.
They've played really well since that opener against Notre Dame when they looked very lethargic offensively.
And I think if Michigan and Notre Dame played again, my money would be on Michigan. After watching Notre Dame against Northwestern.
There's something about Notre Dame I don't like.
Well, Northwestern, who's a very average Big Ten team.
I mean, I lost this game, but Notre Dame should have covered that game. Northwestern should have covered that game. Notre Dame was very lucky to get out the way they did.
Northwestern is what you just described Vanderbilt. They're fundamentally sound. They're not particularly talented. They play very hard, very smart, and they were in it. And Vanderbilt was in it against Notre Dame.
If Notre Dame ends up the 4 seed in this thing, I'm not even watching.
No, I refuse.
Oh, God.
I want you. If that happens, I want you to call me on December the 29th. And if you say, "What are you doing?" and you hear a TV in the background, I want you to hurt me.
It will look worse than it did the last time those teams hooked up in a.
I cannot begin to imagine.
Because that one was nightmarish that night. Monte Te'o and the whole deal with Alabama.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, he would have had more fun with his secret girlfriend than he would on that.
He's been an okay pro.
Yeah.
Been an okay pro.
I think he still gets grief about the secret girlfriend.
Every day, I'm sure. I mean, come on. Just saying. All right, where are we at? Let's see. What do we have?
It's a real-life Patrick Swayze, Demi Moore deal.
That's a good movie, Ghost.
Yeah, we talked about that on
Did you?
Greatest Spot in the South.
They like that movie, too?
I don't think Jay had ever seen it.
You've seen it.
Oh, yeah.
So you've seen that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
We were talking about making the clay and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Pottery.
Oh, yeah.
The whole deal.
Yeah.
I can't remember the song playing, but yeah.
Yeah.
Mississippi State at Alabama this weekend. The Bulldogs in Tuscaloosa. This line was a couple points higher than I anticipated.
What I saw was 29. Someone posted it.
That's way too high. No, it opened in Vegas at 25.5.
Okay. Is it down some?
It's at 26.5 now.
That's a bunch of points.
Yeah, that's a lot of points. I don't know where I'm going with that yet. I'm still kind of figuring it out.
Well, Saban hates Mullen. I don't know that he hates Moorhead.
He probably doesn't know him.
Yeah.
I mean,
but he needs to show him who's boss, so that might.
Oh, you think first time he sees somebody, he has to kind of hit him on the head a little bit?
A little bit, just as a reminder that I'm Nick Saban and you're not.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming off this LSU game where, again, that was going to look like I think Dylan said on Twitter, it's the quintessential Bama game where he just hits you in the head with a hammer for 3.5 hours and beats you by like 20. It's just.
Jim Cantori made Nick Saban laugh twice.
Did he?
He did.
The Weather Channel guy.
Yeah. Nick Saban apparently is a big Weather Channel guy.
Yeah, I knew that. I'd heard that.
And so Cantori.
Weather Channel and Little Debbie's.
So Cantori got an interview with him, and Cantori made him laugh a couple times.
There you go.
I know.
Maybe he'll do some Weather Channel when he hangs it up.
I got a feeling when he hangs it up, he's just going to immediately become one of the football gods.
Do you? You think the football gods are former coaches and different?
Well, I think he will be.
Oh, okay.
I think he coaches until he no longer is on this planet.
Do you really?
And then he just goes to another.
He keeps doing it?
I think he coaches as long as he's on this realm.
Okay. Kentucky on the road. Kentucky coming off a pretty thorough beatdown against Georgia in Lexington. They didn't have the horses for that one.
Nope.
At Tennessee.
That's a good pun.
Yeah, at Tennessee this weekend.
They'll win there because Tennessee can't score.
14-3 against
over
Charlotte.
Tennessee can't score.
Had Charlotte the points.
You did. I
Thanks
laid them because I thought Tennessee would.
They just can't score. They didn't score enough to cover against UTEP.
So they won't score against Kentucky, and Kentucky will score enough. So I guess the line's like, where's the game? Knoxville. Kentucky by 8. 3. Oh, lay them.
Yeah, because Kentucky's going to go 10-2.
I think so.
Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Louisville.
Yeah.
They're going 10-2.
Yeah. Jim's like, whoa, wait a minute. Jim's like, are you telling me that Kentucky's a sure thing over Louisville?
Lock.
Yeah. Jim's like, wait, who's been drinking, me or them?
Washington State -4 over Colorado this week in Boulder. Big game in the Big 12 for at least one of these teams. Oklahoma State, not really. But they are an 18-point underdog in Norman against Oklahoma this week.
Oh, is Bedlam this weekend?
Yeah, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, 18.
Why are they playing Bedlam so early?
I don't know. I don't make the schedule.
For whatever reason, that's a game I've always wanted to see.
Bedlam?
Yeah, I have no idea why.
It's going to be a bloodbath this week. Oh, your boys really playing each other this week. Northwestern at Iowa this week.
Oh, wow.
You get Northwestern at Iowa.
Wow. That's intense.
Iowa -10.
I tell you what, man, in all seriousness, Jeff Brom, that offense is fun. Purdue's good.
Yeah, they're good.
They're good.
One on a last-second field goal.
Yeah.
Iowa cover.
They needed to go score. I was like, no,
cover.
why are you setting up for a field goal? So many things can go wrong.
Everything was going so right the other night because we're at dinner, and I'm watching the games on the TVs, and it's like within 2 seconds of each other. West Virginia scores a 2-point conversion. Purdue kicks the field goal to only win by 1.
Yeah, I'm aware.
It was like all coming up roses. It was just it was fantastic all of a sudden in like a 5-minute stretch.
I was not particularly
I didn't know the Tennessee score either. So like I was pulling it up and I was like, 14 points?
Yeah.
14 points. That's a win.
Yeah.
Lock it up.
Yep.
Mr. Jeremy Pruitt doing work. So Purdue, speaking of, 12-point favorites against Minnesota and P.J. Fleck. They fired a defensive coordinator within the midweek last week.
So you're telling me that P.J. Fleck's having a hard time getting that done at Minnesota? I wonder why.
He's rowing the boat.
Yeah, can't get the players.
He's rowing the boat.
Can't get the players.
ULM's a 4-point favorite this week.
I think ULM won big over Georgia somebody.
Southern, Georgia State, right?
No, they lost to Georgia State earlier in the year. That's probably a big win for the Warhawks.
They were up huge at one point. I did see that. They're in Mobile this week, 4-point favorites over South Alabama.
Oh, they could win there.
Oh, yes. Alabama's 2-7 on the season.
ULM's record, they're like 500.
No idea. Again, when they beat teams really bad, I look at it and go, oh, my God, how slow are those teams?
Yeah.
Because ULM looks so slow.
Oh, my God, they couldn't move. It was like they were stuck.
Auburn on the road trying to just look competent for 4 quarters right now. He saved his gig, I think, but
This is go to Georgia, right?
he's going to get popped. He's at Georgia this weekend.
Yeah, and Georgia looks like they've kind of figured it out a little.
Well, they've got to keep winning. They got to go. I mean,
yeah.
Although they're really playing kind of pointless right now because they're in the championship game.
Yeah.
They're going to lose it, so they can't get in the playoff.
No, they're going to the Capital One Bowl. They're going to
they'll get an access.
Oh, they'll go to the Sugar.
One of the other games.
So they'll go to the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Unless the Sugar says, no, we want LSU at 10-2.
Who you want?
Ooh.
No, they have to take the highest ranked team.
I don't know.
No, I'm telling you. That's how Ole Miss got into the Peach Bowl over Florida.
Oh, okay.
Or Sugar Bowl over Florida. Whatever year that was, we didn't know who it was for sure until we saw the rankings.
That's right, and then you knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Georgia will be higher ranked.
Because Ole Miss beat State and then had to wait on Bama to beat Florida to see how far Florida fell.
So LSU's going to the Capital One Bowl.
Yeah. Georgia will, do you drop Georgia enough losing to Bama?
No, because we've now gotten where no one gets punished for that.
Okay, fair enough. So Georgia can end up playing like UCF in the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yep. They'll face the same challenge Auburn faced last year. Why are we here and why do we care?
Yeah.
And UCF will be like, this is the championship of the whole world.
The intergalactic championship.
Yes.
This is it. And Danny White will never shut up on Twitter all week.
No, and nor should he.
No, I enjoy it. It's all good. I enjoy everything Danny White does on Twitter as far as that goes. This line though is 14.5. Georgia by 14.5 over Auburn.
Yeah, there's some angry Auburn boosters right now. Gus Malzahn was supposed to lose to Ole Miss, then he was supposed to lose to Texas A&M.
This would be done.
Dude gets 19 rushing yards and wins the game.
With Jarrett Stidham as his quarterback.
Auburn people expect to win on the ground. And they get 19 rushing
They got a little
yards.
Nebraska in them where not only do they need to win a certain way.
There's a little of that. It's not totally obnoxious, but it's there.
Nebraska's obnoxious.
Yeah, Auburn's not as obnoxious about it, but it's there.
Nebraska would be very uncomfortable going 10-2 running this Texas Tech spread thing. Yeah. It would freak them out.
That's why I wanted Mike Leach to get the Nebraska job and just air that thing out, man.
They would be. I mean, they'd have to take aspirin every day watching this thing unfold.
We won, but I'm pissed.
Yeah. All right, finish up lines in a second. Podcast brought to you in part by Community Mortgage, Oxford, Memphis, Soto County, and Chattanooga. Underwriting processing in Memphis are getting local underwriting that understands your market, a leader in condo financing and the float down option. You can find Jason at 662-234-2704 or JLowe, JLOWE at communitymtg.com.
The podcast is also brought to you by Oxford University Bank, OUB, locally owned and operated right here in Oxford. When you deposit money at OUB, that money and the vast majority of the bank's profits go right back into the Oxford community. OUB gives you the comfort of home and all the benefits the big mega banks provide, all the technology and products you can want, all with the personal touch. When you call OUB, you speak directly with a live person. There's no 10 buttons to push. There's no 5 minutes to wait. OUB offers its customers the absolute best cash checking account. It's called Kasasa. And with Kasasa, OUB will pay customers 2.5% interest on their balances up to $50,000. And with Kasasa, ATM fees nationwide are refunded. OUB also offers online bill pay and mobile check deposit using its online app. To learn more about OUB, check out liveoxfordbankoxford.com or call 662-234-6668. OUB is FDIC insured. The podcast also brought to you by Megan Phillips with LAH Real Estate. She's the person to call for all of your real estate needs in the Birmingham area. With almost a decade of experience, Megan's knowledge and expertise can help you buy or sell your home today. So please visit her website at meganmphillips.com. That's MEAGAN, mphillips.com, or call Megan at 205-602-7929. Again, 205-602-7929. And you should know this week you can see Coach Kermit Davis and the Rebels for just $199 with the new Ole Miss Hoops Rebel Flex Pass. For just $199, you'll receive a ticket to all 16 home games. So visit OleMissTix.com to purchase. Don't miss a minute of the action this year at the Pavilion with Coach Yo and the women's hoops team. Get your tickets today for just $50. Tickets can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. The Ole Miss women's hoops team begins its season at the Pavilion on Tuesday at 6 p.m. as they take on Norfolk State. Tickets can be purchased by visiting OleMissTix.com. The men, meanwhile, open up their season at the Pavilion this Saturday at 3 p.m. versus Western Michigan for Military Appreciation Day. All veterans and current military personnel will receive free admission, and tickets for the general public start at just $10. Visit OleMissTix.com. That's OleMissTix.com to purchase.
All right. SEC games. We have LSU at Arkansas, as you mentioned a second ago. This it's come down a good bit. LSU opened as a 16.5-point favorite over the Hogs. It's down to 13 right now in that one. I don't know. I'll figure it out later in the week. That's a big line for an LSU team coming off the Alabama game where perspective has to change a little bit, so we'll see where that goes. And then just because it's an interesting game, Texas and Texas Tech this weekend in Lubbock. Texas a 1-point favorite right now because Alan Bowman is dealing with some health issues and likely is not to play. So Tech likely to play another quarterback other than the kid's done pretty well so far this season.
Yeah.
Had a partially collapsed lung a few days ago.
It's not good.
It's happened multiple times this year, so they were doing something with him.
Might be time to shut it down.
Yeah. It's kind of scary. Notre Dame plays Florida State. They're 18-point favorites over them. Clemson is a 17-point favorite at Boston College this weekend. And that's really the only thing interesting. USC is 6.5-point favorite at home against Cal to close it up. So, how'd you do on those picks for the week? I'm not going to figure it out right now.
Pretty crappy.
Oh, really?
Right around 500. I got Ole Miss, South Carolina right. I got the Saints right.
Alabama.
Got Alabama right. Got Georgia right.
Oh, you're okay.
I might have gotten one more.
Yeah, I think I got the first 6, and then I lost State and Missouri and the Saints.
I got Missouri right. No.
I had Florida covering the 6 or whatever it was.
Yeah, I did too.
So, I don't know.
You took the Rams, right, just because you did this. Yeah, I knew I was getting a freebie there.
Well, the Rams are still the better team.
I don't know.
Yeah, they are. And then Talib's out. When Talib's healthy, they have another corner.
Hell of a football game.
It was a great game. Both teams are very, very good.
We're going to actually get great NFL. I mean, the NFC and AFC championship games, we're going to get Saints, Rams.
They're not ready yet.
Chiefs, Patriots.
The Saints haven't even shaken the Panthers yet.
They're going to split that series. Game's going to be in L.A. It's going to be a hell of a game. And
if the Rams got hosed on the fake field goal call, it was a first down.
It was a first down.
If they get that, it's a completely different game. It happened. I mean, yeah. I'm not minimizing the Saints. The Saints are one of the few teams that can beat the Rams in the playoffs, definitely. I'm just saying I'm not going full.
All right, let's go forward.
Over that.
Before you, that's fine. Which teams could beat the Rams in a playoff game? Saints?
Maybe the Panthers. Maybe.
They're good.
They're good.
They're good. I'm not prepared to say Chiefs.
Really? In a Super Bowl?
Just not ready to go there because I'm not sure they
play in 2 weeks.
Chiefs, Rams?
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, they play in 2 weeks.
Patriots look good.
Yeah, they're always there. It's fine. Eagles can't beat them. Packers can't beat them.
No.
Bears can't beat them.
No. The Bears are going to be a playoff team that loses in the first round.
Redskins can't beat them.
Yeah, no. Bears are going to lose in the first round, or maybe even the divisional round, and leave the field going, we're on our way.
They're going to win a wild card game probably and then get the hell beat out of them by the Saints or the Rams.
Right, and walk off the field going, we're okay. Got to make some moves, got to get better.
You saw what we got to get to, so now let's get going.
But we're in the ballpark.
Yeah.
Defensively, the Bears
They're
are really good.
They're going to look like that Saints team that did that when they won a wild card game in 2000. They never capitalized on it, but they beat the Rams, then went to Minnesota and just got popped. And it was okay. Well, that's what this has got to look like, and we're nowhere close. But no, look, the Rams are dang good. The Saints are good. The Saints need that game to be in New Orleans in the postseason. That if I had a worry coming out of there, it's not that LA has an environment advantage at all. It's just that New Orleans has so much of one that I think they do need that extra little bit come playoff time. But it was an important game. That's the other thing too. It was so much more of an important game for the Saints than the Rams because the Panthers are still one game back. It's in New Orleans. It's a home game. There's a lot there, but I'm catching a lot of flack on Twitter. I still think Michael Thomas's thing was incredibly dumb.
Of course it was. He gave away 15 yards.
Everybody's doing stuff. The game wasn't over.
No.
I mean, the Panthers,
Sean Payton agreed with you.
The Rams got the ball at the 50. They go score, get an onside kick, and you lose the game.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Had to exactly stop the Rams most of the day.
No, it was stupid.
Gurley's the best player in football.
God, he's great.
Kamara's really freaking close.
He's great, too.
They're different.
Connor Kupp is a hell of a player.
You like him?
Good player.
Yeah.
The receiver that used to play for the Saints.
Brandon Cooks.
Good.
Yeah.
Good player.
Rams have built a great team. Because they've built it for the most part. They built it.
Yeah, their defensive line is just Aaron Donald. Woo, son. Merry Christmas.
Best defensive player in football.
He makes some plays you're like, whoa. Whoa. And then the guy for the Saints made a couple of plays. The defensive guy pushed the left guard backwards a couple of times.
Well, and the Saints were playing without Marcus Davenport yesterday.
Yeah.
So the Rams are without Talib. The Saints are without Davenport.
Well, no NFL team's ever 100%.
Yeah. It's a good game.
It was a hell of a good game.
Yeah.
It was a hell of if you're Fox, you got through with that game going, we want that again. Can we get that again? Because we want that again.
Oh, that's the thing here. I mean, the NFL is praying for give us Chiefs Patriots and give us Saints Rams.
Oh, hell yeah.
Title games.
I'm just going to tell you, if that happens, there will be no 10 weekend thoughts that week. I'll write like however many I can write before noon.
Give us those two games. It was enjoyable yesterday just because, I mean, at 35-14, but even as, the Saints...
But you knew they were coming back.
Yeah, it wasn't going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
It was going to be a close game because the Rams did a great job of getting that 3 right before halftime that allowed them to 2-for-1 it. And they converted the 2-for-1, but, I mean, the Rams are 8-0, and the most fun of that was, we were more than civil. We sent some texts throughout, but my brother leaves that game and goes, I want none of that again. He was scared to death now of New Orleans moving forward for the playoffs.
Should be.
So that was one of the better
number
parts.
9 gives the Saints a chance.
He gets the ball out so quick that he kind of kills some of that rush and different things.
And
the offensive line is good.
It's really
They really
good.
road graded at times yesterday.
It's really good. They have 2 different kinds of backs.
They're the best toss team in football and the best screen team in football offensively.
I thought what was interesting was Peyton tried to run that little funky inside screen and it bounced off, and then the Rams ran it later for the 2-point conversion.
Yeah.
And I thought these two coaches, that they get through with the game. I guarantee you before they went to bed last night, both coaches watched the other offense to see what they could steal. Because they both are geniuses.
They run pretty similar offenses.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. They're both geniuses. And they both
McVay's just going to get much better as a play caller. He's still really young. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. McVay, I guarantee you watched the Saints film after that game on the plane probably several times going, ooh, look at that. I like that. I'm going to take that. I mean, it wasn't
Hey, Jared, come here. Let's look at this.
Yeah, let's look at this. Hell of a game. Fun. It was fun. It was a fun football game. And I couldn't make it past halftime.
One team closing the window. One team's just coming into it.
Oh, yeah, the Rams.
Just starting.
The Rams window could be huge.
Yeah. Got everybody a couple more years before you got to really pay them.
Drew Brees does not show any signs of wear on the tires.
None. He doesn't get hit a lot. Just doesn't really get hit.
Yeah, Drew Brees, his wife and kids were on the NFL Sunday Countdown or whatever. I was in here trying to work on 10 Thoughts, and I know this is going to shock you. His wife is gorgeous. His boys are beautiful. Tough life Drew's living in New Orleans. Tough gig.
He could run for mayor.
Oh, the mayor of New Orleans wakes up every day going, "Dear sweet baby Jesus, please don't let Drew Brees
You have no
run for
political
mayor.
aspirations, right?
Please don't let Drew Brees run for mayor because I will lose." That's where when Drew Brees says, "I'm running for mayor," you say, "I'm out."
You're unopposed.
We have been thinking about this for a while, and we have decided that it's time to do something different.
He's got at least 2 more years, barring some catastrophic injury.
He just shows no signs, and he doesn't get hit, and he gets rid of the football, and they're smart, and they can run it with 2 different kinds of backs. Ingram's a good, effective between the tackles back. I know he had the fumble, but he's a good back.
Oh, he's fine. Yeah,
and Kamara's a stud.
Ingram allows them to change tempo so much. He just lets them dictate a different offensive tempo when he's in there. That's very, very very relevant.
I tell you what, the kid from Georgia, not a kid anymore, he's like 37 years old. Ben, the tight end, played at Georgia.
Benjamin Watson.
Yeah, you don't see many 37-year-old tight ends in the National Football League. It's a young man's game, and he looks great out there.
He's held up. He did a prop with the baby announcing twins yesterday.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alvin Kamara, he couldn't play for Butch Jones at Tennessee. Couldn't get on the field.
Nope.
And was drafted like 64th.
Yeah. And Sean Payton took him and immediately went, "Yep, got my guy."
They had a great draft. They've spurred both windows off really great drafts.
Yeah, Payton's really good.
Yeah, he's all right.
Payton's really smart. They use him brilliantly.
Cowboys could have gotten him multiple times. Just couldn't quite pull the trigger.
But they wouldn't be able to use him the way the Saints do. They don't have a quarterback to do it. I'm not trolling. They don't.
No, they just don't. Yeah,
they don't. I'm not trolling.
There's some quarterbacks that would really work. That's not one of them.
I tell you who stock jumped on Saturday was Drew Locks again. NFL teams will look at that film and go, "Okay, he's got it in him.
We just got to figure it out.
Got to figure out how to make it consistent, but he's got it in him because he made some plays."
Yeah. All right, plenty at rebelgrove.com. Press conferences today, more throughout the week, leading up to Ole Miss and A&M on Saturday, 11 o'clock for that one with the Rebels and the Aggies. I've got to get back to some people about costume winners and different things. I will do that today. A little behind on that, but you will get a message from me here in a little bit. So take care. Keep reading at rebelgrove.com. Talk to you tomorrow.